Rawr!
Ew.
Hello and welcome to Midnight Readings. Today we'll be reading A Sunny Christmas, written by Wyrm. As always, these are amazing Patreons. Links in the description if you wish to join, as it does provide for our little overlords. Now, shall we get to it? Sunset Shimmer walked down the street, dressed in a heavy coat and carrying her backpack. Snow was falling around her, white flurries fluttering through the air, landing gracefully on the ground. There was a small layer of white blanketing the ground. However, the weather predicted a storm was on the way, and Sunset really wanted to get inside before it hit. Finally, she reached her destination, the Crystal Heart Orphanage. Sunset went there to help every Christmas Eve. It was a reminder of what had been her, before Princess Celestia, on a visit, had recognized her talent and brought her to Canterlot Castle. Having no family, especially not in the human world, Sunset chose to help other children like her. Inside the doors, Sunset stood at the welcome desk. Chestnut Falls, the owner of the orphanage, welcomed her.
"Oh, Sunset, it's nice to see you,"
the woman commented.
"All the children can't wait to see you. Did you hear that we finally found a family for little Rose Petal?"
Chestnut talked as the pair travelled down the hall, catching Sunset up on what she had missed in the last month. They entered a door, and inside nearly 20 children sat or stood, reading or playing or doing whatever. They looked up when Sunset walked in.
"Sunny!"
a little girl screamed, running into Sunset's arms.
"Why haven't you been visiting?"
Rose Petal spoke, with the skipped letters of a little girl. She was 4 after all. "I've been busy," Sunset told the girl. She smiled. "And I hear you found a family."
"I did."
The girl grinned toothily, radiating joy. She laughed, getting off Sunset. She was immediately replaced by others asking questions and giving hugs. Sunset answered all the questions, taking and giving every embrace. Finally, a teenage girl at the back spoke up. Sunset had seen a lot of herself in Dawnstar. The girl was intelligent, talented, driven, and had lost her parents at the age of 6, when they were killed in a car crash. Dawn excelled in school and was very motivated, but to Sunset's knowledge, she had never been adopted. Coming back from college had been interesting for Sunset. She, for obvious reasons, had stayed in town for her job as a lawyer. Showing up at the orphanage had been a high school activity, one Sunset had continued after her return. Dawn, Sunset knew, had very low chance of getting into a good university. Sunset really did hope for the girl to do something great one day. Chestnut Falls watched from the doorway, a small smile on her face. How her young ones loved seeing Sunset. It was a highlight of their day, and often even their week. There weren't many volunteers, and Chestnut could see a small light in Sunset's eye when she came. Obviously, she had a connection to this. Finally getting to her original purpose, Sunset sat down in the chair near the back of the room, next to the glowing Christmas tree. All the children sat around her expectantly. Sunset pulled a book out of her backpack, The Polar Express. She flipped it open, showing the pages to those gathered around her. Sunset began to read. The story was one that the children of the orphanage really enjoyed. That was why Sunset came back to read it, Christmas after Christmas, to old and new faces alike. Some, like Dawnstar, had heard her read the tale many times, but for some, like the little girl in the front row, it was a first time. Sunset always hoped to only read the story to someone once. Sunset read through the book. When she was finished, the room was quiet for a moment, then broke out in a usual riot of laughter and conversation. Dawnstar hung in the back, the 13-year-old silent. Sunset came over to her. "I've noticed you aren't really friends with anyone around here, Dawn. I kinda wonder why." The girl looked at her. "Sunset, I'm the oldest one here. All the others, they're younger than me. People want little kids. They find families, they leave. Me? Nobody wants a teenager. I'm stuck. Stuck until I'm 18. Of course, you wouldn't understand. Sunset touched her shoulder. Oh, Dawn, I do understand. I was adopted, you know. I was unwanted too. I was different. Sunset's magic, her extremely explosive capabilities, had made her too much of a risk for anyone to want. Had made her too much of an outsider to other children. I was lucky. Someone found me by accident. Someone who looked beyond my differences, saw my potential. She wanted to cry. Rarely had she thought about what Princess Celestia had done for her, and how selfish and foolish her response had been. I know someone will find you, Dawn. You have huge potential. Really? Dawn asked. You're one of the most talented people I've ever met, and I've met some pretty talented people. Sunset realized something. She had briefly considered adopting before. Now the temptation was greater. Sunset was broken out of her thoughts by Dawn's next question. Is that why you come here on Christmas Eve? Because you're alone? Kind of, Sunset replied. I've got some really close friends, but Christmas is a time for family, and I don't have one. I come here instead. It was something that only a girl raised in orphanages or temporary foster homes could truly understand. I'm guessing all your friends have family? The girl looked carefully at Sunset. Yes, and I don't begrudge them for that. It gets lonely though, sometimes. I come here and that loneliness goes away some. It's nice to be around people who really understand what I've been through. And it's nice to help. Dawn sighed. The young girl looked more thoughtful. Sunset also sighed wistfully. She looked back down again. Rose Petal was tugging on her arm. Smiling, Sunset followed the girl. Preoccupied, Sunset failed to notice Chestnut Falls leave the room to deal with something at the front desk. She only realized the woman had left when she returned. Sunset, there's some people here to see you. Sunset looked up from her game. A bright smile lit up her face. Standing in the doorway, crowding in behind Chestnut, were 6 girls. Twilight was the first to come over. Hi, Sunset! Sunset and Rose came over to them. Hey, girls! What are you guys doing here? We heard from a friend that you were coming here, Twilight told her. We thought we might join you. She looked at all the children watching them, watching Sunset. This means a lot to you. It really does, Sunset replied. And it really means a lot that you would come here. She scanned the room, filled with curious faces. Finally, her eyes settled on Dawn Star. Girls, there's some people I want you to meet. Aww. This is a sweet one. An old one, but a sweet one. They might want to work on the bottom part. I don't think anyone's pointed out that there's some editing mistakes down in the bottom. I had to slightly rewrite it a little. But otherwise, I can so see this. And I think she would make a good adoptive mother. Or even just a foster parent. I wouldn't put it past her to become one eventually. That was A Sunny Christmas, written by Wyrm. I hope you all enjoyed, and keep watching that moon, everyone. Bye!